Come on, it's PCTV, where we come to have fun, but at the end of the day, the work must be done. Must be done.
Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you paying attention, cause PCTV's coming to pay you a visit. I'm kinda hood, but I'm known as a clean man. You can see the whole squad riding in that green van. It's our turn and we keeping it original. Education, neighborhoods, and criminals, and also church. If you like it spiritual, just watch and learn. It's all about the visual. We got ages from 13 plus. People disrespect, but it ain't hurting us. If you wanna learn, come and search for us. You don't listen, you don't learn as much. We the types that go straight to the facts. So if you frontin', why don't you go straight to the back? Cause it's our turn, so pay attention to Phyllis Community Television.
Come on, it's PCTV, where we come to have fun, but at the end of the day, the work must be done. Must be done.
Hi, my name is Demary Larkins.
Hi, my name is Ariana Gordon.
We are your hosts from PCTV. This month's segment is about schools.
We will be talking about what it takes to become a good teacher, and also about the Teacher of the Year.
We will also talk to people about schools, alternative schools, and the difference between suburban and urban schools, and tips on doing well in school.
Wow, that's a lot of stuff. We better get started.
Yeah, you're right. Here's our first segment about teachers training.
What? Teachers being trained? Who teaches teachers?
Huh? That's the question. Let's watch and see.
Teaching in the state of Minnesota is a 4-year bachelor degree, and what that means here at the College of St. Catherine is 2 years of general courses and then 2 years in the education department. If you want to be a high school teacher, then you major in a content area. If you're an elementary teacher, then your major is elementary education.
I bring them to different locations and they experience working with children. For example, our after-school program, we've got largely an immigrant population of elementary age students, and my students run the program. They come over, they volunteer, they work with the children, they learn how to teach.
Every semester in their education courses, they also have a field requirement, which means they go into classrooms. That's a requirement by the state. You've learned everything we hope that you need to learn, and then we put you in a classroom. You gradually take over that classroom and do all the teaching.
Sit with me. I'm skipping about.
You must continue to take courses throughout your career in order to maintain your license. The state of Minnesota says these are the things that teachers must know and be able to do. We have to start developing all of our courses around those 10 standards, and that qualifies you to get a license. What really qualifies you, it's things like you really get along well with kids, you know how to manage kids, you can relate to kids. Those are the kind of things that are hard to teach.
I decided to start teaching teachers because I wanted to help teachers understand how to love the kids and how to help the kids instead of just having a job.
All students learn best when they're engaged, and engagement means being active.
Learning how to actively engage students to use not only their brain but their whole person.
We know that our students today can be listening to their, with their headphones on, while on a computer, with a cell phone in their lap. You know, they're multitasking all over the place, right? Now, to us, that's mind-boggling, but to you, it's not a big deal, right? It's what you do, and it's the way you learn. So we need to understand how we can tap into that multitasking in order for us to be better teachers. Sitting in a classroom in rows for 6 hours during the day isn't going to work anymore. The thing that they struggle the most with is behavior in the classroom. They think that control means being negative, but it isn't. There are ways, I mean, you can probably, each of you, think of a time when you had a really good teacher. Well, what made that person a really good teacher? I bet that teacher didn't yell at all, but was excited about his or her area, and somehow got you excited too. So much so that he or she didn't have to do any control kinds of things. So you also have to care about your content area. I don't think the coursework is particularly difficult, but being a really good, effective teacher is a very difficult job.
What I think makes a great teacher is passion and heart. And you've got to love kids, and you've got to love learning, and be able to share that excitement and love of learning.
It's probably the most rewarding career, at least for people like me. I've been an educator for 30 years. Love every second of it. I wouldn't do anything else.
Wow, teachers have to learn a lot to be good teachers.
I know. Who knew it would take so much practice?
I wonder how those future teachers take what they learn to become good teachers.
Well, let's see what an already great teacher like Kelly Woods, the person voted for Teacher of the Year, has to say.
Miss Woods was Darius' teacher in 2nd grade. We sent him to interview her.
Hey, I'm Darius, and we're at Nellie Johnson going to see my 2nd grade teacher, Kelly Woods. Let's go in.
Hi, Darius.
Hi, Miss Woods.
How are you? Good. Nice to see you.
Could you please introduce yourself to the viewers that are watching this?
Sure. I'm Kelly Woods, and I teach 3rd grade at Nellie Johnson School.
Okay. How long have you been teaching?
This is my 10th year of teaching.
Do you like being a teacher?
I love being a teacher because I like helping students learn, and then also to help them develop a love of learning. And when students finally get something, and what I remember about you in 2nd grade is when the great progress that you made in reading. So I still remember that. So that is why I love to learn. I love to help kids.
What's the best part of your job?
The best part of my job is being able to work with kids all day. No matter what happens outside of work, if I come to work and I'm in a bad mood, I come to school and just seeing all the faces makes me happy. So I just love being with kids.
What's your favorite type of student?
Students that come in with good attitude, and they come in ready to work, ready to learn. They are respectful, and they're good friends to others. I wanted to show you this picture. I keep it up actually ever since I had you in 2nd grade. Do they still go to school with you?
Carlos, Michael, Miguel, Tyrone.
That was a good class. We had a lot of fun, right?
Mm-hmm.
At the beginning of the year, I like to have the students set a goal, something that they want to get better at. So their hope and dream is to read more and to do more math. I think it's important to have a goal so they have something to work towards.
How does it feel to win Teacher Award?
It is nice to be recognized for the work that I've done, and I think also just for the public to be aware of how hard all teachers work.
What makes a good teacher?
A teacher should want to inspire their children, their students to learn, and is always continuing to learn. So not just, if I'm just a teacher and I don't try to learn new things like different ways to help students become better readers, I think teachers should also be learners along with their students.
What did your students say about the news of the award?
They announced the award at an assembly. It was a surprise, like nobody knew what the assembly was about. So when they said my name, they were just as shocked as I was, and they were clapping and they were really excited. So they were very happy, and they think that they're the best, they have the best class in the world.
Wow, she's a great teacher. I wish she was my teacher.
Yeah, she's cool, but I already have a great teacher.
Well, let's talk to the people on the streets about what they think about their schools and teachers.
All right, what makes a good teacher?
What makes a good teacher? Oh man, a lot of things make a good teacher.
Somebody who's knowledgeable and who's accepting of all the students and just tries to make a good learning environment for everybody.
Someone who understands the population that he's working with.
Someone who can take something really complicated and break it down into something that anyone can understand.
He should teach about not only the school's lessons but also morality, compassion, patience, tolerance, all these things. Not only the school's textbook.
Isn't elitist or talks above the students.
I think a good teacher is someone who builds relationships with their students.
You can't give up on a student.
Someone who's fun and likes the life that they live and lives the life that they love.
So what makes a good school?
A good school is a community of people who care about each other at its most basic level.
They need funding, for one.
What makes a good school is a school that is involved in your community, that works with family, and also works with the students, because you need all of those components.
You get teachers involved, you get parents involved, caring about their kids, you'll have a good school because they'll have an investment.
What makes a good school is a school that has enough supplies for the kids and everything, and that has enough extracurriculars and whatnot.
Trust in children.
Good lunches.
Has a multicultural curriculum.
Allows students to be a little more creative.
How do you feel about Minneapolis public schools?
I feel that Minneapolis public schools are doing what they can based on the government system that they're under.
I think they've got a long ways to go.
With the amount of different languages and nationalities and cultures that they're dealing with, I think they're doing pretty good.
It's fine. I mean, I wouldn't want to go to a different school, like a private school. I like going to public school.
What do you think about No Child Left Behind?
I think that they're leaving all of our children behind, and they're only focusing on the children that they want to fill those political seats.
I don't think it takes into account enough about students with disabilities, students that are coming from difficult backgrounds.
So I think the idea of expecting a lot from schools is a good idea, but standardized tests may not be the ideal vehicle.
Just a bunch of unfunded mandates the Republicans decided to shove down people's throats so they could categorize schools, so they could continue to defund public schools, so they could take private vouchers and shift them out to the suburbs.
I think it, punishes the schools that need support the most.
If it actually did what the name says, then that would be great.
Didn't do the right thing. I don't think it had the right intention.
The children were left behind.
Wow, all those people had a lot to say about their schools.
I know, people seem to think that students aren't doing very well in school.
Well, maybe we can give them tips for doing good in schools.
Well, let's hand it over to who's going to give us some great tips for school.
Hey man, so what are you doing after school? I'm going over this girl's house.
Please, Trey, you pay attention?
Okay, sure. Alright, Mr. Johnson.
You too.
Hey, man, she's. Man, you got this, man. I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you my MySpace, man. You see, we look like.
I don't want to send you to the hall, Trey. You please pay attention.
Okay, I promise I'm not just.
Go ahead and finish reading.
Okay, thank you. Hey, man, watch my show. You're gonna be like, whoa.
All right, that's it.
Huh?
Out. Get out, Trey. Come on.
What did I do?
Stephanie.
I need help. 911. I need help.
Stephanie.
Help.
Stephanie.
What?
Can you please let your classmates concentrate?
But I need help. SOS.
Just try it. I'll be with you in a sec.
Look, my mom made breakfast for me.
Good for you.
Can you finish that?
Yep.
Let me help you with that.
I'm a child. Because of you, I had a good breakfast. Thank you.
Opening the door. 1976, she buried my daughter, Julia, before dying about 8 years later. Carlos, please pick your head up, pay attention. And Senna had been dictator, and Caesar after holding a variety of minor posts. Oh, man. Out. Go.
I'm doing my homework. Big time. Wait, Jay, it's time to go. Where's my homework? Where's my homework? Where's my homework? Have you seen my homework? Have you seen my homework? No. Oh my god, I'm gonna get an F. Where's my homework?
Can anyone tell me what 2 plus 2 is? B. Yes, Daniel. 4. Yes, you're right. Again. Someone tell me what 2 minus 2 is. 0. Yes, you're right. Again, for the 20th time. Can someone tell me what 2 times 2 is? Me. Anyone? Out. Now.
Those were some great tips.
Yeah, and you better follow them.
I wonder if those tips work only in public schools or alternative schools.
What's an alternative school?
Well, let's watch and find out.
Hi, I'm Demir from PCTV. I'm here at El Colegio, and I'm here with,
My name is David Greenberg.
and we're going to take a tour today.
All this work up here that you see is student artwork. A charter school is a public school, so it's open to all students, and it's like an independent public school. So students who graduate still, their diploma's just as valuable as if they went to a regular public school, and they also go to college and all that kind of stuff. They got to pass all the tests and all those things to graduate. So it's just an independent public school.
What is El Colegio Charter School all about?
It is about having a school in which Latinos and non-Latinos can learn together to really celebrate the culture that is unique to the that's unique to Latino culture. So it's an incredible place where people can learn to excel in a bilingual and bicultural environment and go on to be leaders in their community.
This is a new science classroom, so come on in. Yeah, you can see we got the sinks and all kinds of stuff for doing science, a lot more science activities. Here's our greenhouse where they're starting to grow some plants. They just started because this space was under construction until about 3 weeks ago. We're hoping to do more and better science projects here at school.
¿Qué es el colegio?
El colegio es una escuela, así como la high school, y donde estudiantes vienen y toman clases aquí. Y te recibes mucha ayuda por los maestros.
It's really cool, and you get to do a lot of stuff here that you wouldn't normally do at other schools, and they help you get your credits and graduate and help you get to college.
Our schools emphasize in the Latin culture. It's a bilingual school as well. We learn, like every school, we have math, science, writing and reading, you know. But our school emphasizes in Latin culture and people who speak Spanish, but also learning English.
This is our art classroom, and we do a lot of painting, we do drawing, and some sculptures. You can see some small sculptures over there that students are working on. This is a flute. I don't really know how to play it, but these are mosaics. And then this is some more stuff we did for Day of the Dead. These are small ofrendas.
El Colegio Charter School is very much about developing a bilingual and a bicultural grounded students who also extend themselves within an artistic field as well. So our students are about creating community together. Many of the students here found it difficult within the public school system, but they flourish here. They get to go beyond their own boundaries, develop 2 different languages, learn another culture, and in some ways develop their own separate school culture as well.
So this area is what we call the advisory, and this is kind of, I would say, home base for the students and the teachers. So most of the teachers have their desks in here, and advisors are teachers, but they're also kind of the people who help students figure out their plans, almost like counselors.
Washburn, they weren't very organized, and they wouldn't get to. They had a lot of students in their classrooms, and they weren't very organized at all. They had teachers that couldn't really help all the students. They were usually looking at the bad ones and stuff like that really didn't want to learn. And at El Colegio, they help students who don't really want to learn, who do want to learn, and they help you a lot here.
¿Qué escuela ibas antes de aquí?
Yo antes iba a la Southwest High School.
¿Qué es la diferencia de Southwest y aquí?
Pues para mí aquí se me hace más fácil aprender y no deja mucho trabajo como en las otras escuelas y no, pues pequeño, no es grande.
So this is our new kitchen. So we don't cook lunch here, but we do have a cooking class. We're talking about maybe having a student-run cafe someday in here. So that's pretty much the whole school. Students and parents have a lot of different choices, and they should really explore what all those choices are. There's public schools, there's charter schools which are public, there's private schools, there's religious schools, and students can go to any of those schools, and so they just got to find the school that works best for them. So, I'm glad that we have charter schools in this state.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah, you're right. It was cool.
Where do you go to school?
I go to Anderson. Where do you go to school?
I go to Phil. Hey, they're both up in Minneapolis.
Yeah, I wonder what it's like to go to a suburban school.
Our reporters went to Eden Prairie and South High School to talk to students about their schools.
When I was at newspaper camp, I met Molly, and when I was thinking of story ideas like a month and a half ago, I just figured that it would be cool to sort of experience another sort of school, and so I emailed Molly over Facebook, and we went through Molly's entire schedule.
I definitely felt like that they felt a little bit out of place, just because it was there's a lot of people here, but it was nice, and it was nice to know that somebody was really interested in what goes on at our school.
Eden Prairie is a relatively affluent suburb.
I think we have to make do with a lot less funding and less money.
There are a lot of students, so I think because of that, we have a lot of opportunities.
The things they do, the activities they do more often involve money, where ours don't really.
In broadcast journalism, we have like an actual studio. So you can actually go and be on a newscast that airs every Wednesday to the entire student body.
They often have more money than us, so we find kind of more creative ways.
The opportunities at Eden Prairie are incredible, and that's what I love the most.
I went to Lakeville High School for a whole day, and it was so different. It felt like a whole different world. It was way nicer, and they had way more food options, and they had more, they had computers in their classes, and kind of, all this stuff that we didn't have.
I think they only had 2 lunch lines, which is pretty different, and they only have 1 lunchroom. At Eden Prairie, we have 2 lunchrooms, and there are 3 to 4 lines in each one.
We're a really big school, and we're really diverse. We have a lot of different people.
Eden Prairie, it's a pretty diverse student body, particularly because of the large-ish size of the low-income housing.
I think that urban students are more exposed to different cultures and to different ways of living, and so there's not as many stereotypes.
When I was going there, I was really apprehensive. They had to use their IDs to get into school. We don't have to do that at all. I expected there to be a lot of differences between the two schools, and there really wasn't all that much. Like, the student body was relatively the same. Like, the only marked difference was the building.
We don't have any windows, so it's really dark in here sometimes.
And like, when it was built, apparently it was built to be riot-proof, which is absolutely not what they would do in Eden Prairie.
And our lunch is really bad. We have really bad lunch here.
Our food is pretty good. Like, it's not bad, but it's definitely not absolutely delicious.
The two students that came here from Eden Prairie, they said that their friends had told them not to wear red or blue because those were gang colors and people would think they were associating with a gang.
And I just got really riled up, and I was really nervous because I've only gone to a suburban school, so I've never experienced anything other than that. And so when I got there, it was the students were the same. There was no gang activity that I noticed.
Most of us aren't in gangs. Hardly any of us are. South isn't a dangerous place to be.
The biggest thing I learned is that just because someone goes to an inner city school doesn't mean that they're rough or anything. Everyone's the same.
The two students who came here were really nice, and they seemed really interested in what was going on, and they seemed really open to learn more about what was going on.
I really enjoyed it, and I was really glad that I was able to have that opportunity and that things just sort of worked out.
2 years ago, we actually did the same thing, and we asked some students from Lakeville High School to come here. And the article they wrote was not very nice, and they had some kind of mean stereotypes in there, and they were, said some not good things about students. And I was really surprised that, I kind of had this stereotype about the way suburban schools saw South High School. And they really changed that because they wrote a really nice article and they were able to be really fair-minded. I thought it was a really good article. They didn't use any stereotypes. They said some things that they didn't like and they said some things that they did like, and I thought it was a really well-done article.
I think it's good for students to be allowed to sort of state their opinions and have an outlet.
Brown versus the Board of Education struck down separate but equal. And I think that has got, it's gone a lot of pretty far in terms of race, but I think that in terms of class, it really hasn't gone far.
Just because these kids go to an urban school doesn't mean that they're different than I am.
If you look at the differences between, a more poor urban school like South and a school like Eden Prairie or Lakeville, there's still a lot of differences, and I think we need to make sure that we're equally distributing our resources and giving to help to both, suburban and urban students. So I think we need to make sure that there's equality.
Those suburban schools look fun.
I know. I wish I can go there.
I like my school just fine in the city.
Me too. Well, that's it.
We out.
Peace from PCTV.
Come on, it's PCTV. We come to have fun, but at the end of the day, they are